All right, I decided to do this a bit differently this time because this is more of an off-the-cuff video. After this morning in my stories, I spoke about peak performance. And the number of replies and messages I had was just so overwhelming and so many questions about peak performance. And apparently it's something that is so important and so unclear to people that I really want to touch on it a bit. And I want to show you a few places in my house as well that sort of illustrate what I think is important. Now, when we're talking about peak performance, we're basically talking about, you're never going to be at a peak the whole time. You're never going to be at the top of your game, super focused, super motivated, performing, the best possible, right? That's not going to happen. So we have to keep in mind that our performance is always going to go a bit like this. But when we're talking about peak performance, what we want to do is we want to bring, our low points, we want to bring that up as much as possible. And of course, our high points as well, but we want the difference to be as small as possible. And we want our peaks to be as long as possible. So it moves like this a bit, if that makes sense, right? So how do you do this? How can you make sure that, we don't fall in that deep hole sort of? Because let's be honest, no one is motivated 24/7. That's not humanly possible. You're not always super motivated. But what we do is we build in discipline. And discipline actually allows you to, to keep doing the things that you need to do to reach your goals, even at the times that our motivation is lower. And the funny thing about this is that, if your discipline makes you do the things you have to do to go to that next level, you become motivated because you're doing the things even though you're not motivated. So it's, that's kind of a nice way to get out of the things. But, how to make sure that we stay as high as possible. That's what I want to talk about right now. And first of all, when we're talking about peak performance, we always talk about our health. And what I'm going to say right now is no rocket science. Trust me, you all know this. Everybody knows that, it's important to sleep well. It's important to drink a lot of water. It is important to eat clean. It's important to exercise as well, because if you're an entrepreneur, starting entrepreneur, and you're building your business, you're scaling it or starting it, yes, you may have to work hard. You may have to work long days, but it doesn't mean that you should fuck up your health. I mean, let's be honest, that's just stupid. I don't get it, right? People go all in for their business. They order food every day, and which is shitty food. They forget to drink a lot of water. They might get tired in the evening, think, oh, you know what, I'll drink some alcohol, which is probably even the worst thing you could do if we're talking about peak performance. So we all know this, but still for some reason we often neglect it. And it doesn't make sense, because if we don't take care of our body, then our mind's not going to perform. That's just a fact. I can promise you, if you don't take care of your body, if you don't sleep enough, if you don't drink enough water, if you don't eat clean, your mind's going to be affected and you're not going to be able to perform, which is going to piss you off. And then it's just going to go downhill a lot, right? So the first thing that's really important is we have to make sure that our health is on point. And that brings me to probably the most important part of all of this. And that is our environment, right? The place where we live, the place where we work, the place, the people around us. That is so important for our peak performance. Because if the people who are around us aren't supporting us, if the people you care about and are closest to you are like, oh, go get a 9 to 5, your business is never going to work, or, go to college because you have to go to college, if they're not supporting what you do, then it's so hard for you to go through those hard times, because every business goes through times which are, which aren't fun, which are basically hard times, right? And that's also why I think that if you have the discipline to work out every single day, or at least, every weekday or on a regular basis, there's days that you don't want to go, and there's days that it hurts. But if you still go, if you have that discipline, you can use that discipline in your business, because in your business, there's days that, that it's not fun. And there's days that you don't want to continue and you don't want to work on it. But having that discipline will help you. But back to the environment. And now I actually want to start walking around a bit in my house to show you a couple of examples. Now, for example, let me show you the place where I work. So what we see right here, this is my desk, right? And it's basically ready for tomorrow. So what we see is, of course, my laptop, and there's a big screen because I think that's important. My headphones for noise cancelling, for some good music when you're working. There's a lot of options you can do. Some people prefer to listen to classical music. I prefer to listen to white noise because it actually helps me focus. And what else? We have, here's my gratitude journal. And for tonight, I will make my to-do list. So if I come here in the morning, I see all of this prepared. That helps me. That helps me want to work, right? And it's also the desk. The desk is clean. There's nothing, and there's plants here, behind me. There's plants, and that's important too, because did you know that actually plants? Well, first of all, they get a lot of shit out of the air, but actually, it's been proven that our focus goes up about 20% if there's plants in a room. So that's why I have plants there, plant there, everywhere in my room as well. Another important thing, if you look at my desk, right, I'm sitting right here, there's my window. So when I'm sitting, and I'm looking like this at my screen, there's sunlight, there's daylight coming from the side. And we all know that daylight is important, right? Daylight is very, very important. But if I would be facing the window, right, so if this is how I would be sitting, so the window is right in front of me right now, then the sun is annoying me. And if this will be the ground floor, I see people passing, that sort of distracts me. But if I'm the other way around, right, so the window is behind me right now, then there's sunlight on my screen and I can't see anything, that's distracting me as well. So an example of environment. So the desk is clean, there's only the things that I need, and if I come here, I want to work because it's ready and I have my to-do list and I have my gratitude journal and I have my laptop and my big screen and I have the window and I have this, these little sticks to make sure that they, that it smells well, and the plants. So that's the first example. Now I want to show you the second example, because another thing that I think is very important is that we actually read and meditate, right? That is so important, taking care of your mental health, of your, did you know that reading actually brings blood to your brain, to areas in your brain that only reading does. So even if you listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos, whatever, it doesn't do the same as reading. And that's why if you read in the morning, blood goes to certain parts of your brain, those areas get activated, and you'll actually be more focused and better, more concentrated during the day as well. So that's an important thing. So what I want is I have this room. Now you may have seen it in some of my stories. Again, a plant, all my books. Here, there's actually, my book I'm reading right now, little yin yang sign as well. If I walk in here, I want to read. This just looks good, right? And I feel so good when I enter this room that it just invites me to go and read and to go and meditate. And the same with my workspace. If I go there, it feels like I want to work. There's no distractions, there's no TV, there's nothing, that could distract me. So the environment is so important for peak performance. And let me actually see if I can go and sit down for a second. All right, so the environment, this is really something that helps me to focus, to do the things I want to do. In my bedroom, another example, like, don't have a TV in your bedroom. Don't go on your laptop in your bedroom. Your bedroom should be associated in your brain with sleeping. So as soon as you go there, your mind knows that it's time to sleep, right? So those are the first two things. So your health, super important if you want to go to peak performance. And the second one is the environment, the places that you're in. And of course, your mental health, the training your mind, that's the third thing that is so important in peak performance. Before I started meditating, I know I was all over the place. I would get really pissed off. I could just lose my focus so easily. So I started to meditate. And even if it's like 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, that's perfect. But you start to train your mind. You start to lose, all those distractions. You're able to recognize it whenever your mind wanders off, and you can bring yourself back and focus on the task at hand. So that is so important, right? Building those habits, because that's sort of the last thing, right? Yes, you can make sure you will know that you have to eat well, drink well, exercise, right? Sleep well. You know that your office should be clean and have plans, and should be a nice place to work, no distractions. And yes, we know that we have to meditate and make sure that our mental health is good and that we have self-discipline. But if we don't have the systems to back it up, so if we don't have anything that allows us to actually keep doing it every single day, then what we'll see is, again, we start super motivated. We're gonna, tomorrow I'm gonna exercise, I'm gonna sleep well, I'm gonna drink well, I'm gonna clean my office, work, meditate, and we're shooting up, right? We're at a peak. But then we don't have any systems to keep them. So what happens is tomorrow, I'll snooze once, and that one glass of beer will be fine. And we go lower and lower and lower. So when we talk about systems in this case, it's by what sort of binds these things together? How can we make sure that we keep doing them and recognize where the perfect, what's perfect for you? Because again, balance is so important. You can't be at the peak the whole time. If you're at the peak the whole time, you're going to burn out, right? If you're just hustling at the peak the whole time. So yes, there's balance, right? But you have to find that balance, and then you have to see what works for you. So let me give you a few examples. I actually started this week with a personal trainer every morning, right? So I have to get up. I have to get up, and I have to go to the gym and I have to exercise. And then I'm up. And then, I have this room where that motivates me. And I make sure that there's systems that every day in the evening I write my to-do list for the next day. My desk is clean. My to-do list is next to my laptop. So I know that if I get there, I just want to start. I want to cross off these things off my list, right? You could have an accountability partner that actually makes sure that you actually get up, or that you actually do your exercise, or that you do whatever you do. There's apps that remind you to drink water. Right, there's apps, switch off, please. This is like the most important thing. Switch off your phone prior to going to bed. Like 30 minutes before you want to go to bed, switch off your phone, put it in airplane mode. And whatever you do, don't switch it on the moment you wake up. Because at that moment, your phone starts to control you, basically. And you don't want your phone to run you. So keep it switched off as long as possible. Have your phone not next to your bed, because I used to do this all the time. I'd grab my phone when I was sleeping, right? And that sort of sucks as well. So have it somewhere far away that you actually have to get out of your bed to actually quit your alarm. Check out Alarmy, that app, by the way, because that's even more annoying. I have to go downstairs and scan a little pass I have laying next to my coffee machine. So I have to go downstairs to switch off my alarm next to my coffee machine. I'll have a coffee, my day starting. I have to go to the gym. So honestly, like if we're talking about peak performance, if we're talking about mindset, about everything, productivity, make sure that you control everything you can control. So what I'm trying to say is make sure that everything you can control is perfect. So your desk has to be clean. You don't have stupid junk food in your house. Don't have alcohol in your house, because that just makes it easy for you to go and grab it and have it. So don't, if I don't have anything in my house except for coffee, tea, water, and a lot of clean food, which I want to eat. So I don't even have to have the mental sort of strength to not eat shit or not drink shit, because I don't have it. And that saves a lot of energy as well. Plus, that just helps me stay at that peak performance. So again, this was a bit more off the cuff. Normally, I have a videographer filming, and there's it's probably better quality. But let me know what you think about these type of videos. This just happened when I saw all the reactions to my Instagram tip of this morning. So let me know what you think of this type of videos. If you like it, it really does help me if you leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you want, comment below what you think of these sort of things. I know everybody says it, but it actually really helps. And I, actually really appreciate the fact that you watched the whole, 13 minutes of this. So yeah, let me know. Have an amazing week. I will be back next week with the next video. So talk to you then.